Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Super Ninja Austin here, back with another video. This is episode 47. No, 40, episode 49 of the SNA podcast. My apology for the slip up. This is the AEW review, part 7. Let's begin. And okay, we're gonna start off today with Ray Phoenix defending his well-won AEW International Championship against Jeff Jarrett, the Double J man. And then I'll say this was very decently interesting, because I wasn't very sure that he was going to do this. Like, he's going to start right away of doing open challenges, even though he probably had some plans of doing open challenges most of the time. But I didn't know this would be one of the nights that he's going to do so. And then it's very common for wrestlers to do this, especially with mid-card championships. But anyway, this is where Penta was beating him and winning. And then this is where he throws Jeff Jarrett right on the outside. This is where Jeff Jarrett went on the outside. I believe he went back in, throwing back inside. Referee was distracted with him. This is where Karen Jarrett started to rake Penta's back like 3 separate times. This is where it made Ray Phoenix. I said Penta. My apologies. I said Ray Phoenix grabs Karen Jarrett, started choking her, and nearly about to hit some move like a super kick, like I believe he did have Ty Mello before in AAA, or with his brother Penta. But anyways, this is where what's his name attacked him from behind. Sanjay Dutt. He super kicks him. He super kicks him, and then I believe he super kicks Jay Lethal, if I'm not mistaken. This is where Jeff Jarrett comes in, and they came back and start coming back beating him, and then one spot when he threw him on the ringside, back in the ringside. This is where Karen Jarrett and Jay Lethal try to attack him right after Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt double assaulting the one half of the Lucha brother Ray Phoenix, like in a 2-on-1 disadvantage. And that's when Jeff Jarrett came in. I'll say it came in, brought him back into the ring. Let's see. But I'll say it's going to be difficult to explain this. So I'm just going to skip to the double team. This is where Karen Jarrett tried to come in. This is where the referee spotted Karen Jarrett. This is where she pushed her like if she was in a huge rivalry with her. I mean, she kind of is, but at this time, I'll say she wasn't even in a match. And I believe, didn't she have a match? I think it was a mixed tag match with her and Papa Briscoe against Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. I believe so, and I think Karen Jarrett got the win over Karen Jarrett, and there's still some history from them for a few months ago. So we're gonna probably see this continue one day. And this is when the fans start chanting Brie," for doing something that was encouraging, or something that was with courage and with guts. Like something that Karen Jarrett would never have. But anyway, this is where, at least in kayfabe, of course, this is where Jeff Jarrett gets try to go for attack onto Ray Phoenix on the ring apron. This is where Ray Phoenix rammed him right with him in the ring with a spear, like that, like with his shoulder right into his midsection, which he definitely felt the pain off that. Here's where Ray Phoenix tried to go for springboard move, but he was kind of too late, so he improvised with another ram right into Jeff Jarrett's midsection. We try to attack him, try to go for a clothesline. And then this is where Ray Phoenix tried to go for a springboard arm drag, which he turned into a double foot stomp right after he slammed him right through the canvas. This is where he goes for the pin, but this is where Aubrey was counted to 1, counted to 2, but he kicked out at 2.4 seconds. This is where Ray Phoenix hits a thrust kick, which is his version of a super kick, of course. This is where He was getting ready to get up right into the top rope, like crawling with his legs. This is where he was getting ready to hit his, I believe it was his finishing move, which was some kind of jumping off the ropes, but he had to redo it because Jay Lethal tried to distract him, but it came unsuccessful. So he started running onto the top rope like if he was doing the old school and hit a side swiping kick right into his chest. And then this is where Sanjay Dutt was like, he just assaulted my best friend. Like, you should check him from that. And then Aubrey was like, get down to the ground. Like, and besides, like, he's the legal man. And even though that may have been unsportsmanlike, but still, rules are rules. Like, and this is where Jeff Jarrett low blows Ray Phoenix right into the midsection. This is where Jeff Jarrett hits a small package, which is also possibly known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. And this is what made me think, like, don't tell me they're going to do another title change for the second week in a row. And I was like, thank God when it wasn't the case, because Ray Phoenix kicked out of it right after the referee, soon as like when the referee was about to hit it for 3. That's right. Right before Aubrey Edwards even counted to 3, which was a 2.99999 count. And then it's where Jeff Jarrett and Sanjay Dutt was like, what the hell? Like, how in the absolute hell did he kick out of that? And this is where Jeff Jarrett Irish whips him right into the right into the ropes. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline right through the ropes. This is where he ducks. This is where he tried to go for. This is where he tried to go for a power bomb. This is where Jeff Jarrett tried to go for a power bomb. He ducks. He tried to go for a kick, but he lifted him down. He power bombs. He tried to go for a power bombs, but Ray Phoenix counters it. This is where he hits him with a side Russian, reverse side Russian leg sweep version of the skull crushing finale. This is where the thinking stroke. That's what it is. Like, he hits him with a thinking stroke. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. This is where he tried to go for a pin. This is where referee counted to 1. The referee counted to 2. This is where Ray Phoenix barely but successfully got his leg right under the ropes and was hanging on the ropes, which gave him a rope break. I was like, what a very genius move from the one half of the Luchador brothers. But anyways, this is where Jeff Jarrett was arguing with the referee. This is where it's like, this is when Satnam Singh came in, and this is where Satnam Singh starts standing up, because that's what Jeff Jarrett asked him to do, to get up on the apron, try to get him with a choke slam, but before he had a chance to try to attempt to do anything to Ray Phoenix, this is where Ray Phoenix, as soon as Jeff Jarrett Irish whipped Ray Phoenix, this is where he came back to the state, drop kicked Jeff Jarrett's legs, which he fell right off the ring apron, and I believe he hit his face, at least partially his face, right onto the hardest part of the ring. This is where Jeff Jarrett tried to catch him. This is where he tried to go for this is where he goes for a figure 4 leg lock. This is where he goes for a crater. This is where he goes for a small package crater, which is also known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, for the 1, 2, 3. I was like, wow. I expected his brother Ray Phoenix to retain this international title, probably for 2 reasons. But I would say I expected to be in this manner, like him winning with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. And don't tell me that. And I was thinking, like, don't tell me Simon's gonna gonna say tomorrow night. He's gonna just say like Ray Phoenix should continue doing this. This could be his finishing move, like Xavier Woods. But yeah, what do you thought about this match? Like, do you thought it was very necessary to do this match, or was it? Or you think that they should, if Ray Phoenix was gonna defend his newly won international championship, it should have been with somebody else that was like more suitable of this title. And hopefully the guy that's gonna be the next number one contender, which they revealed tonight at tonight's AEW Dynamite, which was in the number one contenders match, which I'm gonna talk about that in just a moment. Like, and I wonder who you think it is. And then for those who are watching, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Y'all let me know down in the comments though below. But this is where let's see right here. This is where we have, I believe, was a fishing segment with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, because they showed that Adam Cole sustained an injury on last week's AEW Grand Slam. And then it's also true about him walking on crutches, because on this fishing vignette that Adam Cole and MJF was doing, like, he was standing with crutches, and then he was right in front of the camera explaining himself why he's in crutches, like, which I believe the commentators did more of the explaining than he ever did, but not ever did, I should say, more than he did, by the way, but yeah, that's not the point. The point is, like it's been confirmed that Adam Cole's in crutches, and he has his leg is on a what's it called on an ankle brace, yeah, because he sustained a leg injury last week. This is where and then he's like Max here cheered me up by taking me fishing and fishing on his yacht, like to cheer me up, like. And then this is where MJF interrupts. I was like, well, he didn't know it was his boat. He was like, he thought he'd cheer me up to go fishing on the boat. But he's like, are you ready to go fishing? Get into my boat. And then this is where Adam Cole was shockingly surprised and amazed. Like, he was like, yeah, this is your boat, dude? Like, I did not know this. Like you didn't tell me that. And he was like, yeah, well, it's actually my dad. Well, it's actually my dad's, but he don't have to find out. He was acting like some sort of rebellious senior high school teenager of some sort. That's what he kind of reminded me of when he said that. And this is where Adam Cole's like, bro, what the? And then before he could say the word, this is where they interrupt. This is where interrupt start hanging out, doing like fishing, sailing, drinking a couple of beers. You know how it is when you would sail, like if you're a sailor that drinks, of course. But this is when Adam Cole was like, Max, thank you so much for bringing me out here. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. And then this is where MJF was like, yeah, it's the most pleasant place in the world. And he's like, but quick question, Adam. Your boy Will, your man that will help you out. What he said. He's like, thank you for taking me out. And he's like, it's the most magical place in the world. And he's like, quick question. I love the fact you came out to help your bro Chacho for life. And this is where Adam goes like, yeah, anytime. And I said into the process. Like, you were in that phone with Roddy, though. You're on the whole time. Yeah, man. I was worrying about him. And then this is when MJF's like, yeah, like, I know. It's like, he was like, and then I noticed, I couldn't help also but notice that you're on the phone with him for so many hours. You can even come out with me in the ring in the beginning of the match. It's Samoa Joe. And this is what Adam Cole, and he was like, you like, I know, and you know this, like, you're like, as much as I like you, like, you're like a brother. Like, I like my man, I like my Roderick, my bro Roderick Strong. He's also like a brother to me too. And this is what MJF was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. And he's like, He was like, can you hold my beer for a second? He's like, I'm gonna get you a beer too. And he's like, okay, I'd love to catch something today though, bro. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, they're delicious. These beers are delicious. This when MJF was getting ready to put on his Dynamite diamond ring and hit him from behind and knock him off the boat and into the sea. And this is when, before he had a chance to do so, this is when Adam Cole asked him, is he going to do that? And then this way he's like, no, like I would never. And like if he's some kind of lion manipulating evil child. This is where he's like he was like proving to have a healthy friendship, like you have more than one friend, and that's okay, and that's normal. It's healthy. Like it is. Like, yeah. Like I know this new friendship is new to you. Like friends are new, but it doesn't matter. Everybody cares about you. This is what MJF's like, well, have more of my friends, not for me. But I guess it's normal for you to have two friends. I support that. And this one, because I appreciate that. And he's thanks, man. And then the plus. And he's like, and this is what MJF's like, I knew he got caught for knocking over an MFer before. So this, like, MFer before, like, did he really just reveal that to him? And did he really just use that word? Like, even though they censored it out, like, but still, like ain't it like kind of very rare for them to do? Even though it's probably like the second or even the third time that this has been referenced, but I'll say been revealing but censored. But anyways, I was like, I'm not sure it's going to be more often we're going to see them swearing like this, but it'll probably be in occasional segments, of course. But y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. But anyway, he said this is great though. And this is what Adam Cole's about to say, what he was nearly about to say again, like at the beginning of the segment, where he said, this is my father's boat and you don't have to know. And this is where Adam Cole's like, yo, what the? And then when they had a bite, he's like, I got one, I got a bite, I got a bit, I got one, come on. And he's like, I think I got a big one. Like, yeah, you're damn right, because it is a whale, like the former Big Show, like, which is now he's going by his real name, Paul White. Yeah, of course. And he was on a floaty, a big ducky floaty that looked like for someone for his size. Like even if it looked like the same size for Omos too, to be flying in a ducky. I was like, I gotta show this image on the Great Ones subreddit post about the whale is on an AEW fishing segment with Adam Cole and what's his name? And MJF, that's who it was. And I was telling my mom and sister, they started cracking up. It's like there's a whale in the sea on here, like. And then my mom was dying when she heard me saying that. I was like, yeah, there's really a whale. Like, no more BS. It's the no more BS, man. This is when Big Show was like, or Paul White was like, hey, like, what are you doing? Or like, he's like, what the F are you doing? Like, you SOB. And then he was like, what? You think I can't know how to swim? And then this is where he took the hook right out of his mouth. This is where he joins him in the boat and start drinking a nice cold one, obviously beer, right, fresh out of the fresh out of the cooler, and then sitting back and fishing with him. And I was like you're finally showing them on AEW television. It'd be very rare for him to see him like this in a weekly base. And that's when they raised their beers up and went for a toasting cheers. And then this is where we move on to the next match, I believe, which is this is where we have we're gonna hear an in-ring promo up next, or not up next, later on, still to come, but they showed. And this is where Don Callis was in Tokyo with his new Don Callis family client. What's his name? Like this past Saturday, they showed them when they were 10 o'clock p.m. In Tokyo, Japan, with his not New Japan, his Don Callis family. What's his name? Don Callis family client, Konosuke Takeshita, and this is where he's like the Alpha Eye are here in Tokyo, and we're collecting. And we are going to collect Kota Ibushi right now. And we know your secret. And we know all your secrets, Kenny, and we're going to find it right here in this very city. And we're going to find, you're going to have to find your new partner at this Sunday's AEW Wrestle Dreams. And then this is where we hear from him on this in-ring segment right here. This is where we have Renee Paquette introduce Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita by asking him like, what do you learn from the secrets of Kenny Omega with his friendship with Kota Ibushi, and then she was like, and she also said that she can't hear she can't hear herself asking you these questions because these fans are booing so loud. Like, it was so louder than the Dominic Mysterio when he was on promo. And when he tried to answer the question, this is where the fans start booing louder, like, boo! And I bet I'll be doing that too. And then she also asked about Don Callis' family. And this is where Don Callis is like, I have something to say, fans. I am so happy that Sammy Guevara is free from the toxic environment of Chris Jericho. And I want to bring on to him myself, and the ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Don Callis family, like Sammy Guevara. And that's when he started making his entrance to the ring after that I guess that the heartwarming introduction that Don Callis gave him. This is where Sammy Guevara came in and joined the interview. Let's see right here. And he was like, and this is where Don Callis was like, and that's when he started finishing his story about story about learning the secrets about the friendship with Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega that used the weakness against him for this match at this Sunday at this Sunday's Wrestle Dreams event. And then this is where he's like, you want to learn our story from Tokyo? And he's like, the story last week. Then she's like, I said that the Kota Ibushi wasn't saved. So the Alpha and I went to Tokyo, and I brought my personal camera crew, and we captured it all right on video. And he's like, roll the tape. And that's what he told the cameraman to roll the tape into the Titantron, which they did. This is where he came in right into a room. This is where he started attacking these trainees from Japan. This is when I believe Kota Ibushi came out, try to help his fellow trainee, or I think it was his trainer, I think, in Tokyo. This is where he started fighting back and defending him and his trainer, I believe, against Konosuke Takeshita. This is where he tried to check on him. This is where both Don Callis, Konosuke Takeshita attacks him from behind when he turned his back for like 5 seconds. This is where Konosuke Takeshita grabbed what was it that let's see. He grabbed his coat and started using it like if it was like a hanging rope, which it was trying to choke out what's his name, Kota Ibushi, so he could try to attempt to murder him. I was like, even in professional wrestling's kayfabe, isn't that illegal? Like, shouldn't he be facing some jail time? But then again, he didn't actually kill him. He's just try to choke him out, try to injure him around his neck. But I don't think it's gonna do much unless he try to snap it or try to break it somehow, like snap it or break it. But when you snap it, it's gonna be a guarantee that you're not gonna be living for much longer. But Atreyu. But anyway, but I'll say more like break it, like crack it, like unless you do it like that, that's the best way that's gonna be his weakness and be injured and be put off on the show. But yeah, what you thought about this? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But anyway, this is where he's like Kenny Omega, like what he said directly while he was choking them. Let's see. And this is what, yeah, he told Kosuke Takeshita to choke him out. And this is where he's looking on the kid. Say, this is your beating of your life and heart with your friend Koda, like at war. And at Tokyo, you're not safe. In Seattle, you're not safe in anywhere. With the Don Callis family are after you. I was like, yo, ain't that like trespassing, which that's illegal, and attempted murder? Like, if this is in real life, we'll be paying so many crime fines and jail time for a lifetime. Like if this was in real life, but obviously this is all part of this wrestling storyline. But yeah, but I need to start doing a crime encounter and keeping up with that. Or attempted crime counter, I should say. This is when Don Callis like, the Don Callis family, everybody was booing, like, boo. Like, it's getting stronger with the Alpha, with at Wrestle Dreams. There will be by God Ospreay and at Sammy Guevara. This was Sammy Guevara snatched the microphone right out of Renee Paquette's hands. Let's see right here. This is where he snatched the microphone right out of. This is where he snatched the microphone right off of Renee Paquette's hand. This is where he's like, Jericho has been the villain from the last 4 years. This is when the fans start chanting, "Flub you, Sammy, flub you, Sammy." I was like, well, they didn't actually say flub, but I'm just keeping it PG because even though this is not exactly TV PG, but it still has its restrictions. So, but they were chanting that like "Flub you, Sammy," clap, 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 clap. And I believe this was getting on into the skin of both Don Callis and Sammy Guevara. And then but he still continued with a. This is what he's like, Chris Jericho. He was holding me back for 4 years. Like I was champion without him. I've been main evented pay-per-views without him. Like I was great on my own, and I first fly high. He was trying to quit my wings. Like, he would quit my wings and hold me back. And then one day, Chris go pass me the torch, and he didn't. I was like, yeah, he never was. I was like, well, he kind of passed the torch even with you in defeat. Like he still looked like he passed you the torch and it looked like you were ready, even though you lost the match. But you proved to him that you are more than ready to be a main eventer. But anyway, he was like, because of Don Callis, you showed me that Chris Jericho is selfish and is out to take the torch by force. And now I'm going to become the champion and the star that I was born to be. And he started doing an arrogant pose. This is where everybody's like, boo. I was like, yeah. Like, anything that has anything to do with Don Callis is horrible. Like, more horrible than any heel managers in all of professional wrestling combined. And I'll say Christian Cage is right about one thing before he turned heel. I'll say Don Callis really is a carny piece of shit. But that's a story for another day. But this is where Don Callis started saying, Wrestle Dream, we're going to take everything from Ibushi, from Jericho, and from Omega. There's nothing left but the tears. I was like, okay, the tears, like, Something tells me that the only person that's going to be crying to death in tears is going to be the four of you, or at least the three of y'all, with Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Don Callis. And I'm not sure about Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is like the real man. Like they need Ospreay more than Will needs them. Like he does. Like he would do better with or without them. In my personal opinions about Will Ospreay, I've been watching him in highlights in New Japan Pro Wrestling and watching him on AEW. He's one talented dude. Like yeah, some tells me like when he is full time in AEW, he could eventually become the AEW World Champion. But what do y'all think about this feud, and what do you think who's going to win at this Sunday's Wrestle Dreams? Do you think it's going to be Team Omega, Ibushi, and Jericho, or is it going to be Team Team Don Callis family? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I believe it's going to be Team Omega, Ibushi, and Omega, Ibushi, and Jericho. But anyways, let's move on to the next. This is where we got them back. This is where we got a backstage vignette with the absolute Ricky Starks from last Saturday's Collision. Like this one, at this match I didn't lose. I survived. That proves that Bryan Danielson didn't tap me out. Like you hit me as far as you can instead of the ring system. This absolute Ricky Stark and you, Bryan Danielson, and that makes it that we still have some business to continue with me and you, Bryan Daniels. This is where Willa Yuta came in in the backstage hallway area. This is where Willa Yuta came in and told Ricky Starks. Oh yeah, he's like, you didn't pin me, or when he said you didn't pin me or made me submit. Like, so as far as the rankings go, it's ranks high, absolute Rick Star, and low for you, Bryan Danielson. And this is when Willa Yuta's like, Ricky. I come in peace. Look, you right. You did survive from the choke out. Got choked out by Bryan Danielson, but I guess I was wrong. I put my hands on you because the fight was over. But I just wanted you to show my man some respect. Like I know you didn't start anything, and I shouldn't have put my hands on you. And I just want to respectfully apologize for you. I just wanted you to give my main man some respect. And this is where Rick starts like, look, you. Next time, I know. I want the next time. I'm gonna put your hands on me. I'll make sure you never. Next time, I'm not gonna let you put my hands on me. As a matter of fact, I will make sure that you won't have a chance to walk out of the ring for putting your hands on me. And this way, I try to be the bigger man, but I guess you don't like that. And then he's like, I really feel about you, Ricky. You're an entire prick. I think you're awesome. Let's see. Yeah, you understand me? And this is where, what's his name said? This is where Willa Yuta's like, I try to be the bigger man, Ricky Starr. I see how I really feel about you. Like you're nothing but you're an entire prick, and I think you're our style and you're no substance. All you do is watch and whine and moan. You're gonna get up there. You're gonna get up after Bryan Danielson just did to you. Like that. He's like, I get up every single day, and they beat my ass. They beat me around and knee me, punch me, kick. He was like, and you sitting there whining, no one's not doing nothing to you, and you wouldn't have the balls to go through what I have to go through. Which that's true. I agree because I say the BPCC do way too much of using him as a personal punching bag. Because shouldn't you have something that's hard, as a human, like an actual punching bag or some kind of some kind of a punchable item that's very hard so you can keep your fist harder when you punch, to maintain your toughness. But anyway, this is where Willa Yuta challenged Ricky Starks in the match. He was like, "How about you and me in the match this Sunday, October 1st, at Wrestle Dreams?" And this is when Ricky Starks He thought smiling. He shook his head. He walked out with Big Bill. That's when it's been confirmed by Tony Khan. But Willa Yuta also said walk away as well. This is what we got. This one got a three-way between Nick Jackson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Penta, I believe. No, not Penta. That's another match. It was Brian Cage, my bad. It was a triple threat match with Brian Cage taking on Nick Jackson and Claudio Castagnoli. That's what it was. But I was like, it looks like some kind of a tag team rivalry, except for Brian Cage because he's a winner of a faction, two tag team faction members of the group when they were the trios champions at the time. But this is a number one contenders international championship to see who's going to face Ray Phoenix next week for the post Wrestle Dream show, the post Wrestle Dream show Dynamite, which is next Wednesday, of course, at the first Wednesday of October. Let's get to the point we're going to talk about. This match kind of did deliver, but didn't really have to come from. Did Nick Jackson really have to be in this match? Did that have to be in this match in this manner? I'll say maybe this could be a perfect idea for him to show that he could be a single star along with teaming with his brother Matt Jackson. But anyway, this is where we saw Claudio Castagnoli hit the crossbody right to Nick Jackson. He tried to go for a pin, but Nick Jackson kicks out. This is where Brian Cage tried to go for an attack. This is where he knees him right in the midsection. He hits a gut wrench suplex. This is where Claudio Castagnoli get back up with his knees, with his knee getting back with his knees. This is where he tries to hit a European uppercut. This is where Brian Cage counters it. He hits him with an uppercut, hit him with a step up into the gear along with it. This is where Nick Jackson hit. This is where he hit the tornado DDT right into Claudio. When he countered, when Nick Jackson countered his move and brought Brian Cage down. This is where Nick Jackson hits a moonsault, did a counter to both men. This is where Nick Jackson was on the top rope. This is where he goes for a 450 splash. This is where he tried to go for a pin for a 1 and a 2, but Brian Cage kicks out at 2.999. This is where Nick Jackson was in the ground thinking, how in the hell to put away this big dude right here. This is where Claudio Castagnoli pulls him out from the ring, throws him right into Simba the Steel Steps. This is where Claudio was getting ready to do the Claudio spin. This is where he spins him 10 to 12 times in a row with 10 and 12 different spins. This is where Brian Cage. This is where this is where Nick Jackson came in, and what move we see did Claudio? This is This is where they were on the ropes. This is where he tried to hit him with a right hand, but he ducks, flips him over into a Hurricane Rana move-like position. This is where he tried to go up right to the top rope, try to crossbody Brian Cage. And pick him up for F10 for a 1-2. This is where Nick Jackson kicks out at 2.999. This is where Brian Cage gets back up. This is where he tries to grab on Claudio. Claudio hits him with a ramp to the midsection. This is where he hits him with a swinging kick into the head. This is where he lifts him up right off the top rope and hit a suplex. Looked like he stole Cesaro's move. Because I remember not Cesaro. Claudio the move where he hits him with a suplex right onto the top rope. Try to go for a pinfall. This is where referee counts for 1, referee count for 2. This is where Claudio kicks out right after 2 at a 2 even count. Anyway, Prince Nana Brian Cage and Prince Nana start looking shocked. Like, how did he do? This is where Brian Cage hits trying to go for an Alabama Slam-like move. This is where he got super kicked by Nick Jackson. This is where Nick Jackson hits a crucifix roll-up right into Claudio Castagnoli for a 1-2 pinfall. This is where Nick Jackson super kicks Brian Cage. This is where he tried to go for a discus lariat, but he hits him with another one. This is where he hits him right in the corner. This is where Claudio Castagnoli flies in and hits a European uppercut. This is where Nick Jackson hits a super kick. This is where Claudio hits another European uppercut. This is where Nick Jackson super kicks Claudio. This is where Claudio intercepts with a flying European uppercut, and when he was running through the ropes. This is where he tried to go do a discus lariat, but Claudio hits his 1 versus 0. This is where pin Brian Cage for 1 and 2. This is where Brian Cage kicks out 2.999. This is where he started putting Brian Cage in the camera clutch position, but he started elbowing his right shoulders, looking like doing the bro mission that Matt Riddle used to do in WWE. This is where he hits him with a straight jacket powerbomb, grabbing both of his arms in the opposite directions in his midsection. This is where he picks him up. It was like a ripcord and a straight jacket move position of a powerbomb. Like, boom, he powerbombs him. This is where Nick Jackson tried to attempt to go for a springboard Hurricane Rana, which he successfully did. He Hurricane Rana Claudio right out of the ring. This is where he took an advantage. And he pinned Brian Cage for the 1-2-3, and he actually got the victory. And he's going to go face Ray Phoenix next week on AEW Dynamite. And who do you think is going to win? Do you think we're going to have a new international champion into Nick Jackson and winning like a rare singles championship, or do you think or do you think that Ray Phoenix is going to successfully retain? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where we got a vignette of the Righteous, sending a message to Adam Cole and MJF, letting them know that they're going to be the next Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. He's like, y'all feel ache the feel that you feel. He was like, boys, like everyday society, all the fake people in the world about militaristic. It's like the two of you, Cole and MJF. That's gonna change. Karma has no deadline, gentlemen, and for us, we did nothing wrong. Plus, it's easier to forgive your enemies than it is to forgive your fake friends. I was like, you may have a point because Roderick Strong could possibly fake his injury, like in kayfabe perspective. But what do you think about? But what do you think about this? About this segment? When we talk about this vignette, and then I think about like with them talking about the stories of MJF and Adam Cole on-screen programming with the Kingdom and Roderick Strong. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But this is where we have an in-ring segment, which Adam Cole could barely do this poses and kiss her. This is where Adam Cole was like, who's ready to get in? Who's ready to speaking of Adam Cole and MJF, this is where they were in the ring. Yeah, he had trouble getting up because he had a bad leg from last week on Grand Slam when he accidentally bruised it and hit it too hard on the concrete floor. But this is where he's like, who's ready to hear story time with Adam Cole, baby, to the fans. That's when everybody's like, yeah, like we are. And it's when Adam Cole's like, now, unfortunately, this is going to be a sad chapter of this story. And this is when the fans are booing and started being a bit upset about. This is when Adam Cole's like, I got hurt really, really bad. Pretty much my ankle exploded. It broke in 3 different places. And I tore ligaments and I did I could get back in my like. Unfortunately, I had to get surgery. And the fans like, oh no. As the fans like, and this is when fans like, I know, like nothing more than so crushing than hearing this. But you have my word. I'll do anything in my power to get back as soon as humanly possible. Now, I can't defend this stuff. Unfortunately, we have to relinquish it if that's the case. And this is when MJF was not buying it and not taking failure for an option. This is where MJF was like, wait, whoa, like never, ever. Like, it's never, ever going to happen. Like, whoa, hold on a second, Bochacho. Like, and this is the fans start chanting, no, along with MJF. And he's like, I know that. And you're hearing this from you're hearing this from the same guy that wrestled twice in one night, and they're going. You think we're gonna just relinquish those titles against those rinky-dink douchebags, the righteous? And then this where it's like, hey, Colorado, you think? Do you want us to relinquish our titles to the righteous? And this is when the fans started chanting, no. I was like, yeah, I agree. Like, we're not gonna have a winner into this fashion, like with them surrendering those championships to the righteous, to the future opponents of Wrestle Dreams. And this is when MJF was like, yeah, I thought so. That y'all want that. I can't believe I'm about to say this. First of all, you would be hurt after. Like, if it had been for me, he was like, well, you would still be healthy enough to face the righteous with me if it hadn't been for me needing your help at last week's Grand Slam. And then this is when Adam Cole's like, no, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. And this is when MJF's like, no, it's true. I take it. I'll eat it. But however, I also know how much those all tag team titles mean to you. And then I want to make sure that when you come back here, you will, and 110%, because you were the best wrestler of all time. And he's like, this will be waiting for you. Be righteous. And it'll be waiting for you. And then he's like, and then this when he right to the camera and send a message to the righteous. Like, righteous, at October 1st, at Wrestle Dreams, the devil's gonna be in the side of Seattle, and he said, I'm gonna defend those titles in a handicap match, and we are going to win because we are better than you. And Adam Cole was motivatingly said, "Baby." And I was like, really? Like, they're gonna do this? Like, he's possibly like the third ever wrestler that defended tag team championships on his own, like in a 2-on-1 handicap match. because first it was Bob Backlund in the 90s, and then in 2018, Seth freaking Rollins had to defend the Raw Tag Team against the Authors of Pain, which a year later they become his minions. But before then, they beat him in a 2-on-1 handicap match because Moxley, which he was formerly known as Dean Ambrose at the time, turned on him because I believe he probably remembered the times where he stabbed him in the back and then it got to his head and he dirty deeds him and he had to lose the title. But this is where before Adam and Maxwell before they had a chance to leave the arena, this is where Roderick Strong was like, Adam. Now Adam, like, don't go. Is there anything that I can do? And this is where MJF's like, hold on. And then this is where Roderick's like, he's like, listen, like, but and MJF was like, no, hold on, I got something positively complimentary to say. He was like, even though Roderick Strong is a what he said, even though Roderick Strong's a he's like, hold on. He's like, as much as I think Roderick Strong's nothing but a simp, that's what a simp. This is when Roderick Strong was like, hey, he was about the wheelchair out there trying to kick his rear end, but the Kingdoms, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett had to hold him back from the wheelchair for him not to get physical with the AEW World Champion. Now, we'll come down there. Even with me being in a wheelchair, that's what Roderick Strong said. This is where MJF said, I learned that lesson on that boat earlier today. And he's your boy, and I may not like him, but I respect you enough to respect that he's your boy. I think that was a very heartwarming thing that Maxwell Jacob Freeman have ever said into his whole entire wrestling career. But it's, you do go, you gotta do. Just know, I'm gonna be waiting for you when you come back. This is where Adam Cole put up his crutches, got ready to get back, and he appreciate what the salt of the earth just said. And then this is when even Excalibur was so shocked. Like, I'm so stoned right now. And this is a totally different MJF than I usually would expect it to be. That's when they hugged halfway. This is where Roddy said, Adam, this is an emergency. Like, time's waiting. Like, this is an emergency. I was like, really? Is it? Or is it that you want him to hang out with you more than he is with Maxwell? And this is where Matt Taven whispers something in his ear, like something that he was brainwashing him or something. I don't know what was it, but this is where he shows the back of what it says on his wheelchair, which it said "Hot Roddy." I'm like, that's your emergency? Like, it don't seem nothing like an emergency. So what was the point of saying that just to get his attention? I wouldn't even get. I was like, that wouldn't get nobody's attention in general, like, of saying it's an emergency when it's not. Like, but if it really is an emergency, like then he would be actually caring. But yeah, whatever. This is where it shows. I was like, this doesn't make no sense. It's like, it's worse than 2 + 2 = potatoes. And this is when MJF went totally out of character once again. This is where he said, everybody give it up for my man Adam Cole. And this is where everybody started cheering like, yeah. He said, now we may not be a big fan of, and before we have a chance to hear what he was about to say, this is where the Switchblade Jay White came out with the rest of the Bullet Club Gold members. This is where he came in the ring. This is where the fans start chanting, too sweet, pop, pop, too sweet. Dude. And this is where Jay White got into the microphone. This is where he tells Maxwell, now I want to sit for a change. This is when fans start cheering because it's like, yes, we're going to see this somewhat of a dream match with Jay White taking on MJF. If I'm gonna be, I came from the Bang Bang game and just went to the backstage. A little shot, Rock Hard, Colton, Cut Squall, Austin. But don't worry, I'm gonna send all of them back. They're already been sent back. I mean, it's gonna be one-on-one, you and me, just having a conversation right here. A real man, and revel in your moment. Revel in your moment. This is where MJF roasted here by saying, "Boy, you must have been smoking some real Colorado grass." And this is when the fans start chanting like, "Yeah," like he had. This is where Excalibur explained saying like, yeah, about 500. 500. What is it? If the fans start popping out to see, this is where Excalibur was like 5,453 seat level. Like, I was like, he really just said it. This is when fans start chanting weed. Because I believe it's legal there, just like it is in Missouri, and other countries. I believe California, but that's a story for another day. He said that might work. It's gonna work with MJF. And if you come for the king, you best not miss. And that first shot was a little bit hairy, and almost as hairy. And that puking hair that glued to your chin they call a goatee. I was like, wow. He's like, what? What's wrong with my goatee? It's very smooth. He's like, MJF's quoting more than little. And this is when the fans start chanting pubic hair, and this is where MJF had the microphone up in the air. He's like, Jay, he's like, in my career, I've been compared with a lot of people. I have, sentiment is always the same. Sure, MJF is good, but he's no blank. Sure, MJF is good, but he's no blank. And as my star rose, the names got bigger and bigger, and the list got bigger and bigger. And he said, it never bothered me. Jay never bothered me. And it never bothered me until I read, sure, MJF is good. He'd be no Jay White. Like, and Jay White, of all people. He may have a point. Like, Jay White may be good, but I would say not that as good as the salt of the earth. This is when the fans start chanting bullshit in Colorado. Excuse my way. Hopefully, I'll get some restriction warning for using that word, even though it says that you'll probably have its limits, and I didn't put it as a children's. Luckily, I didn't put it as a children's video, or else I had to edit that out. But anyway, this is where they start chanting BS, like BS into this segment. This is where MJF was like, now I'm saying hi, with my beautiful peers, and this is where fans are cheering me even more. He's like, it's become very apparent to me why. And you see, Jay, these people know better than anyone. I'm like a fine flaming yawn. I don't know about any of y'all about that. About his own thing. It's the only plate. Yeah, sure, you got all the crabs surrounding. The plate's all about the fillet. Much like when I'm inside this ring, the show is all about MJF. Because nobody is on the level of the devil. I was like, I'm not sure if anybody want to be literally level on the devil, but the fans really wanted to be, because they finished this statement of saying that, because that's his catchphrase of him playing with his nickname being the devil. He's like, but you and I are on the same level. Like, let's get something convincing that you're a flaming yawn, but when you thought you were flaming yawn, but in reality, Jay White, you're just tofu in comparison with me. I was like, damn. The funny, that's fans like, was it funny? And this is where the fans start chanting tofu. And this is where he says, the funny thing about tofu, it tastes the flavor of ever what you wanted to, but you made to add something to it, in order to trick yourself into believing it has taste. But you use that as an analogy of like using it as an analogy with Jay White. You have to have other wrestlers, the other wrestlers that he wrestled, to make himself relevant and popular in professional wrestling. But I don't think he needs to do that just to be very famous into the business. I think he could do this like with or without a top wrestling star that he's wrestling with. But I think this was a very good line from the Salt of the Earth. This is where Jay Washington nodded his head like, okay, you keep it up what you say. And like, and this is where I'm giving everything. Like, you got Spices with the cool entrance, the cool nicknames, the cool theme music, the cool T-shirts, big match of opportunities. You were handed the keys to one of the greatest wrestling factions of all times, which is known as the Bullet Club. Here's where he shows up from behind. This is where MJF also says, "Here's just a taste of," but at the end of the day, you are a tasteless tofu. This is when the fans continue to start saying tofu. This is where MJF's like, "Here's here, Jay. If I buy my plate, instead on the champ's flavor, huh?" This is the fans are saying, "Yeah, you know what I don't even mind about. I see through you, Jay. You're all hyped. And you're all nothing more than an intelligently produced, mass market vision of someone in Japan thought was a top guy. So allow me to give you some advice from a real top guy." And he said, "Here's the deal. And if I were you, I would leave this ring, and I damn sure wouldn't keep talking smack to my pores." Then the fans started cheering for him, praising his courage of calling out the former IWGP World Champion. If you don't, for the rest of your career, whenever our names are mentioned in the same sentence in comparison, people will reasons follow. Sure, Jay White good, but he's not M. Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Yeah, because he's like, "I'm better than you," and the fans finished the catchphrase saying, "And you know it." This is when And then this is when Jay White's like, "Thank you." He started clapping sarcastically and saying, "Encore." Like, and see, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I came out here for. Like, my very own personal venting MJF and experiencing. But I have to be honest with you, Max. I'm a little bit let down. And this is when fans continuously started chanting tofu to the Switchblader. And this is where MJF had the microphone say, like, "You hear that? Like, from my pores, there's something that's a little bit different, a little bit off about you these days." But personally, I don't know about the injury, but with your new bromance with Adam Cole, baby, because he's homies with Adam Cole as well. Well, at least back a year ago, of course. But he was referencing that he's not like on his heel edge. And no, I don't mean Adam Copeland, but yes, I mean this is a shout out to you, Simon Miller, and for the rest of you World Culture guys, like on this video. I guess this is some kind of a short cameo sponsor, I suppose. This is where Jay White was like, I like doing, you like doing, they all like saying baby. Like, but I just don't think that like you like. They don't like you like they do with Adam Cole. And then this is when the fans start denying them, saying like, "Whatever." Like, it's just you think that like that the reason why that we love Max is because of Adam, but that's not the entire reason. This is where the fans are chanting MJF before he could have a chance to finish what he was saying. This This is what he's talking like MJF. He's like, I forgot this song. I'm talking to you. You shush. I got this in my hand, so you guys shush. And this is where Jay White was like, yeah, in those situations with Adam Cole, as you think about it, it's kind of my fault, though. Let me phrase it. See, if I didn't tip away in Adam Cole's career, I'll be on episode. You would have the soft spot with him from day one. You would became tag team. Y'all became best buds. They wouldn't. You know, we won the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship together. Maybe we made an event together. You know, you probably would break your. What you say? You become best buds. Y'all didn't become the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions together. And you didn't have to win the main event together. You would have to try to break your. You would have tried to break your neck at Wembley. And hey, you got back because his ankle. That was your fault from last week. And the fans were like, "No, boo!" Like he just talking trash like every heel would do just to get some attention. He's like, "Do what I can do last year." I've been saw you for a little while now, but the thing is, I'm here now, and I'm close to personal to ruining and ruin you in the flesh. You call yourself the devil. Nobody on the level of the devil than the Switchblade himself. You, Mr. Devil, you have enough a level that don't even exist for you to stop me from taking this from you, the All Elite Wrestling World Championship. And I'm going to take the most thing from you. Like kind of like Elite Wrestling, a World Heavyweight Championship doesn't see. So compared to Switchblade Jay White, he's like number one it's gonna be the guy that's pro wrestling. The last guy, the man that single-handedly sold out Madison Square Garden one time or more, and then in the United Center, like I am king of the Switch, baby. I'm high roll, and in Denver with the Bang Bang Gang. I'm catalyst of professional wrestling. And he's like, I, not you. Like I will be a true elite champion when I put this away from your car keys, and you can go soak and sob with all your loser pores, and you're just like them. And fans are booing them more. And you're their scumbag, right? I was like, do you really have to sarcastically just poke fun of that to him? And I think this was working more and making MJF more like a baby face. I was like, I would never thought I would have seen this for a guy like Jay White. Even for him being the most utter top heel in the company. This is what fans are chanting, like, shut the F up. And he's like, don't worry, Maxie boy. Like, you have them, they will have you, and I will have the Triple B, baby. And this is what fans are like, boo. He's like, you can all breathe with the Switchblade that you would enter to an AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Switchblade Jay White, because it's still my era. This is my Switchblade era because MJF, you gone soft, and you know it. And this is when MJF was responded back like, you do not know you do not have no kind of GD crew that where you're heading up against and what I'm capable of. So how about I show you in a loud with his voice carrying and loud and going loud and him in a pissed off mood. And this is where he started taking off his jacket. He took off his belts. This is where he unbuttons his dress shirt. This is where he looked like he's about to fight in the match. This is where Jay White ran out of the ring like a cowardly heel would do. This is where MJF had the most biggest standing ovation with him stepping up to a top heel into the company. Whereas it's been confirmed by Tony Khan that it's gonna be at the AEW tag team. I'm not AEW, the AEW World Championship is gonna be on the line with MJF defending it against the Switchblade Jay White at Wrestle Dreams, I believe. And at the same night, with him defending the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships alone against Righteous. But anyway, this is where we got a sit-down interview with backstage in the locker room with JR interviewing Christian Cage and Darby Allin. He's like, this is a smart decision of AEW, of Tony Khan, to guarantee that you gentlemen will have no physicality tonight. And this is something, the match on Sunday at the pay-per-view is going to be too important for the company. It's too important for your careers. And most important, the classic of Sunday night, like, the times are changing. The new we got a recognized champion now with you, Christian Cage. You sound like a great guy. You sound like a good. Looks like a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old looked like a guy, like somewhat of a nice guy taking his 5-year-old nephew intoxicated for a ride. And what happened to him? This was that he's dead. Like, everybody you talk about is everybody you effing talk about is dead. Like, it doesn't define what I am today, other than what this face paint represents. Like, this. You think I'm afraid of losing in Seattle in my first night in my old hometown? And you think? I won a TNT title in Seattle before, and I'm gonna do it again at this Sunday at Wrestle Dream. He's like, and this is where Christian Cage said, "You're just way too confident about this Saturday about Wrestle Dream of winning this TNT. Why don't you bring everybody? Bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your brother, and bring Nick Wayne's mom for all I care. Like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna bring Nick Wayne's mom, so don't worry about. I already got it in place. Like, bring all your family. Bring Bunny Wayne. Like, oh yeah, bring Nick. Like, bring the whole crew. I know this is going for you need to bring Nick so you can take advantage of him. And that's the only reason why you're worried about him. I'm gonna show bring stuff. Like, if you have the balls, you will do that at Luchasaurus. Only if you don't have the balls. And I was like, wow, like, he just told him straight up to Christian Cage. And this is where Christian Cage, let me something. You're helping that boy. And you did get mental. You need, like, well, you're not. You need a champion mental. You need a real man. And that's no one that don't pay this face to, like, and this is where he started provoking Darby Allin. This is where Darby Allin was like, you know what? And he's like, and this is where Christian Cage thought he was going to hit him with a blow. Like, come on, Darby, hit me. And this is where Darby Allin was not falling for his man. This is where he started pouring water in his face, started wiping his face. I do think I'm doing this just for fun. I do think I'm being childish with this face paint. You think I'm effing doing this for? You think I'm hiding behind his face paint? You think I'm freaking hiding behind his face? Well, he didn't say freaking, but you know what I mean. But this is where Chris Cage responded like, "Yes, you do. You hide behind that face paint way too much." And he's like, I don't need Luchasaurus to beat you. Like, you're supposed for what you are. And I'll say, well, that's gonna be kind of hypocritical. But like, what if you did need Luchasaurus to beat the former 3-time TNT champion, and then something happens that and nothing comes your way? He's gonna be back for. He's like, I'm gonna still retain your TNT championship all by myself. Like, I always will be the TNT champion, the face of TNT, and now forever. Do you get used to it? This is what Darby Allin was like. Whatever. Like, everybody knows that I'm the TNT champion. But what do you think about who's gonna win at this upcoming pay-per-view at Wrestle Dreams? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And I praise Darby Allin for pointing out that he loves talking about wrestlers as deceased fathers, like whether if it like deceased fathers and other deceased relatives, because he has some kind of problem with that in his kayfabe wrestling character. This is where we finally get the Fatal 4-Way match with Penta El Zio Miedo. This is where Penta El Zio Miedo. We have this Fatal 4-Way match with one half of the teams, which is that Penta El Zio Miedo, I believe Matt Jackson, Austin Gunn, and Penta El Zio Miedo. Yeah, that's what. And Orange Cassidy freshly squeezed. This is where they start mocking. This is where he started mocking. Mocking Penta when he's like Penta L like 0 mil, and he threw it right and threw his hand right into his face. This is where Austin Gunn threw a gun sight right into his face. And then this was like, okay, you triggered me. Like the glove comes right off, and he takes it right off. This is where he tossed it right to his manager, Alex Altajantes. This is where he tried to go for a chop. This is where he ducks. This is where he started chopping him back. This is where, let's see right here. This is where after he hit the chop, this is where Austin Gunn started bragging, like if he just did something. Like if he won the match, like or won the biggest championship in professional wrestling. But this is where he clotheslines Austin Gunn. This is where he does the Cielo Miro pose. This is where Matt Jackson comes back in the ring. He super kicks him from ducking his clothesline. This is where Orange Cassidy came in right behind him when Penta was like 0 mil, like, but he got really interrupted again, except it was with the freshly squeezed Orange Wrestler. This is where he puts his hand down. It's like, there's no need for that. Now, how about hands in the pocket instead? And then this is where Penta kind of got pissed because he super kicked the freshly squeezed wrestler right into his face. This is where Penta was like, "Cielo miedo." And this is where Austin Gunn came back and shoved him from behind. This is where he single hacks handle Orange Cassidy. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to go for an orange punch. This is where Austin Gunn will start hitting the Dusty punch, like punch, 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 and then hit him with those Dusty Road jabs. This is where he started doing that dance he usually does. This is where he hits a right hand right into Orange Cassidy, right to his face. This is where he put his gun, his metaphoric finger movement guns up in the air. This is where he tried to go for a pin. This only got him the 2 count. But anyway, we're going to get to more of the point. We're going to talking about this video. Like, when wrestlers hitting their respective moves, like Orange Cassidy hit a backdrop right to Austin Gunn. This is where all 4 men fell down to the ground. And this is when the referee started his 10 count with all competitors 10 count. Like starting with 1 and all the way to 7. This is where Matt Jackson and Penta got back up. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to get back up. Because they'll get up by the time he gets to 10, it's gonna be a double or it'll be a 4-way count out draw. This is where he has Penta right into a cutter position. He super kicks Austin Gunn. This is where he hits a sliced bread, like climbing onto Orange Cassidy's midsection, torso, and face with the sliced bread slamming Penta's head right into the canvas. This is where Orange Cassidy ducks out of Matt Jackson's clothesline. This is where he hits a flying head scissor DDT, but Matt Jackson countered it before he executed by hitting a hip suplex right on back first, right into the mat. This is where he lifted him up into another one, hit him with a hip suplex, which he does a third one, looking like he's doing the 3 German suplex that Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle would do, or even the 3 Amigos, what Eddie Guerrero would do. This is where Orange Cassidy countered to the third hip suplex into a back move position. This is where Matt Jackson counters, rolled him, hit him right to the ropes, try to go for a most devastating move, surprise roll up. This is where both Austin Gunn and Matt Jackson did. This is where Austin Gunn and Penta LZO Mio tried to do a double DDT, but Matt Jackson did the most amazing thing that he has ever done in his wrestling career, and that did the latest, I should say, the latest, most amazing and unbelievable thing in professional wrestling. He was still in the roll-up position with Orange Cassidy, but he hit a double hip suplex all by himself right onto Penta and Austin Gunn with a hip suplex. This is where he tried to go for a pin. But the referee, this is where he pins three of them. All 3 men. This is what Excalibur was very shocked too. The referee counted 1, the referee counted 2, but all 3 of them at the same damn time kicked out at 2.99999. How did he do that? How did he just do that? And this is when Taz was like, that's very, and that was very impressive from Matt Jackson. And this is when Matt Jackson picks up Penta. This is where he tried to go for a BTE trigger right to. This is when the fans start chanting AEW, AEW, AEW. Trying to go over a B trigger, but Penta was like, El Cielo Miedo. And he kicks him right into the midsection. This is where he tried to go for the fear factor. This is where Matt got step up Mr. Geary by Penta. This is where Austin Gunn trying to go for a clothesline, but he hits him with a sling blade. This is where he hits a super kick right into Matt Jackson's midsection. This is where he tried to go for a sit-up pile driver, but Orange Cassidy hits the orange punch out of nowhere. The move that I countered in AEW Fight Forever, which I need to start making blogs about it because it's very fun to play on AEW Fight Forever. Y'all need to get the game if y'all haven't already. But anyways, this is where from behind Austin Gunn hits a famous right into the face of Orange Cassidy. This is where he tried to go for a pin for a 1 and a 2, but Orange Cassidy kicks out at 2.8 seconds. This is where he tried to pin Matt Jackson next, but he only got a 2.999 count. This is where he pins Penta for a 1 and a 2, but he kicked out with a closer count with 2.99999, 0.01 away from 3. This is where Austin Gunn tried to hit right hands to both Orange Cassidy, or first it was Matt Jackson, then Orange Cassidy, then Penta LZO Middle. They hit a double super kick, looking like musical chairs. Who's out and who's gonna be until there's one left? Because Orange Cassidy, Matt Jackson, and Penta LZO Middle hit a triple super kick right onto Austin Gunn. This is where Penta and Matt Jackson hits a double super kick to Orange Cassidy, and then and I believe it was Penta hit the super kick to Matt Jackson. Yeah, it was Penta hit a super kick to Matt Jackson, but he boomeranged right to the ropes and super kicked Penta right back at him. This is where they try to go for a super kick at the same time, but they hit each other's ankles at the same time in the process with this double super kick. This is where they try to go for a double clothesline, but they should have learned from Adam Cole but they should have learned what's their names? Matt Jackson and Penta should have learned that learned this from Adam Cole and MJF, because doing a double closeout on one another or one each other does not work, at least in AEW. But anyways, this is where Austin Gunn pulls out what's his name? Penta out of the match. This is where Orange Cassidy hits a orange punch out of nowhere to Matt Jackson. This is where he tried to go for a pin for a 1 and a 2 and a 3, and Austin Gunn was too late to do anything about it. And this is where Orange Cassidy gets the win. And yeah, this Sunday it's gonna be a number 1 contenders 4-way match to see who's gonna get a shot at the All Elite Wrestling World Tag Team Championship against either the FTR or what's their names? Aussie Open. But who do you think is going to win? It's going to be Orange Cassidy and Hook, or the Young Bucks, or the Guns, or the Lucha Brothers. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But I'll say this was well put out together, like of being. But shame it's not the main event, let alone the opener. But I believe the opener was really good. Like, even though it just came out of the blue, but it's an open challenge. Like, and Jeff Jarrett accepted the challenge. Like, that's what's telling one story. Like, he's gonna be a fighting champion, and he's gonna be like that until he loses the championship, which that remains to be seen in the future. Well, up next we have a Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale match, which Willow Nightingale showed some vengeful moves onto the female, the first and only female House of Black member. This is where she hit her with running or attacking lariats, I should say, and then she also hit her with she hits with let's see. This is where she also hit her with moves like where Julia Hart tried to go for a sleeper. This is where she picks her up right into a fireman's position and hit her with a Death Valley driver, spinning around with her still on her back. This is where Willow Nightingale is in a comeback mood, because she hit her with a running hip attack right into the ropes. This is where she closed on her into the exact same corner of the turnbuckle. She hits a big boot right into the face of Julia Hart. This is where Willow's was getting extra hype onto the match. This is where she Irish whips right to the ropes. This is where she hits a double-A spine buster right onto Julia Hart. This is where she pins Julia. This is where she goes for a pin 1-2, but she kicks out right at the end. This is where Willow was looking like the suspenders come off now, but it didn't look like that. But she didn't do so. But she was more focused about finishing off the first female member of the House of Black by hitting her with attacking clothesline, like I said earlier. I was like, she was beating her so much to the point that I thought she was actually going to win. But I forgot that Julia Hart's probably going to come back and somehow try to sneak a win against the former New Japan Strong Women's Champion. What she did when she tried to go for another attacking clothesline. This is where she twisted her up in an under twist arm slam, which she looked like she did a Russian leg sweep with her in the opposite position with her doing the move on to Willow. This is where she finally have her into the Heartless, yeah. Hit her with the Heartless. She tried to go and do the submission move locked in. This is where she nearly had it locked in and nearly made her tap, but this is where Willow grabbed on the ropes. This is when Julia Hart was very pissed. So this is where she tried to do some kind of attack move, do in a cartwheel position. This is where Willow counters and spears her like the most unexpected spear I've ever seen in professional wrestling. This is where Willow started beating her chest like if she was King Kong's niece. This is where Willow go for a gut wrench position, but she turned it into some kind of a power slam position because she rammed her right into Tina the Turnbuckle in the left top corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where she hanged her into a tree of woe position. This is where Willow started barking with the fans, because that's what she'd usually do when she's in this. And when she puts her opponents right into Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where she tried to go for a cannonball with Julia Hart into the tree of woe position, but absolutely surprisingly, she came right out of nowhere and flips right up on the top rope, hits a moonsault for the 1-2-3. I was like, how in the hell she did that? And that's when she tried to go for the Heartless and try to try to do what she did to what's her name? Try to do what she did to both Sky Blue and Kiera Hogan this past Friday and Saturday in this past weekend. This is when Chris Statlander came out and
You see me?
yeah, the meat. Yeah, I see.
You see me?
Yeah, I see the meat.
You see me?
That looks nice. Yeah,
Yummy.
it's very yummy, isn't it? This is where.
You want some?
Yeah, I want some. Yeah, get back to mommy. Yeah, Uncle loves this. It looks really perfect for something for dinner tonight. I wonder what are you and the family gonna have for dinner tonight? Meatloaf?
Meatloaf.
I guess so. I don't know. I'll just come up with an idea.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, it's sponsored by Meatloaf. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Meatloaf. Okay. Okay, Trey. Yes. It's hard and heavy and cold. Yeah, you're right. It is cold. Yeah. But anyways.
You see me?
Yeah, they see me. Okay, let's go. Give it back to mommy. Get back to your mommy. Anyways. Yeah. Pre-cheers to the cameo appearance with some ground. What's it is? Some lean ground beef. Yeah. I can't show the logo because I don't want to get copyrighted. But anyways, yeah, there's the meat. Yeah. Possibly me and my family's dinner. Pre-cheers to the man that showed the meat. My nephew Atreyu, right here. But here you go. Give it to your mommy and your daddy. Yeah. But anyways, this is or just mommy. Okay, just give it to your mommy. But anyways, this is where Chris Statlander came in. She tried to go for a clothesline. This is where Julia Hart ducks and goes right behind Brody King. This is where she goes straight right to face. I was like, does it think it's intimidating that she has a man right in front of her? Like she powerbombed me right on AEW Fight Forever on the road to Elite. Trey, can you keep it down just a little bit so I can recap what happened to AEW Dynamite? But anyways, this is where I was like she's not intimidated with a man. Like she powerbombed me on AEW Fight Forever. Trey, you got to wait. Anyway, I was like she powerbombed me on AEW Fight Forever on the video game on Road to Elite. So this looks like she's intimidated with anybody in this industry in AEW. Like I don't think so. But this is where they left and left like cowards. This is where you're smashing the meat. No, Trey, you come on, Super Ninja Austin, Uncle Super Ninja Austin. People, I said Uncle Super Ninja Austin. But anyways, yeah, it's cold. Here you go. Come on. Yeah, that gag. Yeah. Okay, Trey, give it. Trey, you gotta give this back to mommy and daddy. Come on. It's cold, but I know it's cold and heavy, but you cannot be playing like bongo drums. No, Trey, you. But anyway, what do you think? Who's gonna be outcome as the victor on the match with Chris Statlander and what's her name? Julia Hart. That's who it was. Julia Hart. Y'all let me know down in the comments below.
Give it to me.
But anyway, this is where we head on to the backstage. Not backstage. This is where we head on to the in. This is where we got to the in-ring. This is where we got to the in-ring contract signing segment with Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page for their match at AEW's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, which is at this October 1st. This is where Swerve Strickland said, let's see right here. We got, and it's unlike everything. And it's like unlike everything that you have ever been through in here. I don't think you understand, bro. We're two competitors. We're two competitors that couldn't be more opposite one another. I'm nothing. I am nothing like you, and I'm not saying this because I'm stuttering, because he was stuttering like this. He's like, I have never been like a wrestler that you are. I never was a farmer to to a motor, with a cowboy to an outlaw, with a buckshot to a kill shot. I was like, he makes a good point, and his striking is very perfectly put together. Like he knows, like he just put it all together without any hesitations of saying that. Like wow, like he makes a good point of that. But at the same time, I think that Hangman would say he's gonna win, but it's gonna be in Swerve's hometown. Even though like wrestling companies usually bury their hometown wrestlers, but I don't think AEW would do. They'll probably actually give them the win, and that's something to brag about. And then also trying to be on the way becoming the first ever African American AEW World Champion, which, like I said before, I expected to be Scorpio Sky to break that record in AEW. But I mean, I wouldn't mind Swerve Strickland getting that opportunity to become AEW champion and earn that term to become the title and term of being the AEW, the first ever African American AEW champion. But yeah, either way, like whatever his future is, like whoever be the first ever of that category, I hope for the best for them. And who you think it will be, y'all let me know down in the comments genuinely. And this is where Hangman put, like, he responded to Swerve Strickland's comments saying, let's see right here, they're like, look, like well, Swerve, like you sound you sound more good than you should be. And a few weeks ago, you came out here, you said some things to me in the moment. I wouldn't lie. It made me. He's like, it had me scared a little bit, but now thinking about him, I want to say thank you for saying what you said, what you did. You pointed out that I haven't gotten new wrestling gear in over a year, which that's a reference to it, which is references about him not doing anything different and new since last year, ever since he was the AEW champion. But anyway, because he also said, you said some merchandise, you said, man, something's up with him. I knew it. Like he's like, I knew it, like deep down inside, because for 8 years and a half, for not 8 years, but a year, for a year and a half, like I felt like I was under the dark cloud, even though I was hiding it. The all black cloud over my head that I never could get rid of. Even being my reign as AEW champion. Sure, the sun would shine I beat John Moxley at a Texas Death Match. And then the fans are wooing like, woo! And it's where I reunited with my friends in the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And he's like, and also it felt like I should have been the happiest man in the world. And he's like, but every time I started to smile, that little cloud came right back into the wind. It needs the wheels. That's how you're gonna grill a hot dog. But anyway, he's like, and that pissed me off. And they couldn't do anything about it. And he's like, I have my bro sign on the side, and as long as God let it rain on me, I didn't dare to become. Like, it's okay, Trey. Just find the other leg so you can have it standing. It needs the other leg so it can stand. Anyways, that's over. With that over with, everyone's something. Light it up. I stand right here. And then the thing that you noticed about me, and the thing that you made so to reckon with, is that through that to that point, like, watch something out of me. I don't know what we want to call it, but a termination or a passion. You know, he said, I don't know if you want to call it a passion, a termination, or anything, like, but it did. And now that time to think about that, to really reckon with it, I came to realize that these people have always more than ever deserved more than the best of me. I was like, that's true, because they haven't been doing much since he become AEW World Champion. Trey, you nearly knocked over Uncle SNA's laptop. Calm down. No, it's not. It's not worth it. That just have fun playing with your barbecue, not trying to break that in Uncle's webcam. But anyways. You really gotta do this right in front of your uncle's podcast. But anyways, this is where Swerve Strickland's like, really? Like, you're really talking about take it off? You gotta flip it over. Like this. You gotta hold it up still like that. Anyways, this is where he's like, this is where Swerve Strickland started laughing like, and then he was laughing as soon as right after I was laughing at. He was like, that was, that was beautiful. Like that was the most well put that was well thought out of a message that you put together. Like, but did you think that? And it's the most pathetic. But it's also the most pathetic thing I have ever seen. It's the most pathetic thing I ever seen and I ever heard. That's what he said. Yeah. It's more terrible than the Denver Broncos last week, which is a aim at the Colorado State's the state of Colorado's capital city of. The state of Colorado's capital city's football team of them getting blown away. I was shocked. Like Swerve Strickland even knew about the Broncos being smoked away by the Miami Dolphins. 50 points losing them by 50 points in the most embarrassing blowing out way. But the Miami Dolphins basically smoked them by 70 to 20. By the way, which was probably the most embarrassing loss that the Broncos have ever gained in their entire history as a football team. But I was like, wow, even Swerve Strickland's gonna call them out, like just because they were in Colorado tonight. He mentioned it on tonight for saying Hangman Adam Page's promo was more worse than that. But anyways, this is where everybody in Colorado started booing at the former AEW Tag Team Champion and the former member of Swerve in Our Glory, I should say, or the leader of Mogul Embassy. This is where he also said, "Now I will let this trash out of here," and then left in the dumpster fire, and then in Colorado, and everybody started booing more loud. I mean, not loud as Dominic Mysterio and Don Callis, but loud to get a heel reaction from the fans of saying the most rudest thing into the show. But anyway, Swerve Strickland was like that. Quite frankly, you could have been anybody, or you just happen to be you, and that's the position that I want. Yeah. And he said, I mean, like, truth be told, that I really want and he even admit that he has mental issues, mental problems, and he has mental health problems because he make an enemy out of somebody in this day in his life, which I'll say that's a very concerningly issue. That's a very concerning issue, like for having so many enemies and making them and have some kind of a mental problem of doing so. Like let's hope this is all part of his game, but then again, it could be for real, but outside of the ring. That's some outside ring issues. Hopefully he overcomes that, though, by the way. But this is where he also stated, now I want to motivate myself in the position that you are, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it from you, and I'm going to be on my way of becoming the new AEW, first ever African-American AEW World Champion. He's gonna take the position away from you, and he's gonna be on his way of facing who's gonna walk out of there the same night as the AEW World Champion. And he's like, and he also warned Hangman Adam Page saying it rains awfully a lot in Seattle, by the way, like, just to give you a heads up. And this is where MJ was like, you told me you had the opportunity and you would have been all long ago be the black. You're talking about you will be the first ever black AEW champion, and then Swerve I swear, I don't know. Maybe you will. Like hypothetical, but that's hypothetical though. Like, and the generation that after you ask that questions themselves. We can sit here and go back and forth all day long about whether if those opportunities were handed to me on a silver platter or whether if I earned them. But at the thing, for every opportunity I've ever had, and I knocked it right out of the park. I was like, and you damn right that you did, because you went over millions of obstacles to get where you at. You were the first ever Casino Battle Royal winner at AEW's Double or Nothing and faced Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship, and you were this close to beating him, but you lost to Jericho, and he didn't make no excuses. He just said, like, I just lost, and I have to get myself back up and try again. And it took him like a little bit over 2 years just to get that opportunity once again. And that was at his best friend, Kenny Omega, when he had an opportunity at the end of 2021. The opportunity at AEW's Full Gear, and he finally beat him, which Kenny Omega nearly held that title for a year, for only like 11 months. But he held that title until like the following year's Double or Nothing to CM Punk, which I'm not sure if I should have brought that up. But even for being a 6-month reign, and most of that reign was hardly memorable, only just beating the likes of Jon Moxley and Murder Hawk Monster, what's his name, Lance Archer, but yeah, at least he overcome of being a failure and being actually a winner, and he even became the world champion out of it too. You like, so Swerve, you telling me you want the spot that I want? You damn right. You should want the spot of being known as his resume. Are you gonna try to fill in my boots? You know what anything filling in my boots? Like, well, you don't. And that's when they signed their respective names into the contract, which they make it confirmed and official that it's going to happen, guaranteed at this Sunday's pay-per-view at Wrestle Dreams, live at Swerve Strickland's hometown and also Darby Allin's hometown, of course. And I believe two of these guys are going to win this match, for one of them being for that simple fact, but also it will probably tell some other stories too, which we're going to figure to see that after the pay-per-view. But this is where Swerve Strickland. But before they sign their respective name, this is where he slaps Hangman Adam Page right in the face. This is where he signs his name. This is where he did the Undertaker move back in 2014, which was 9 years ago, of course, where he stabbed Brock Lesnar right into the pin. That's where Hangman Adam Page did the Swerve Strickland. When he started signing his name, he stabbed the pin right into his pin. Right to his hand, like it was nailed right to his hand. Like, oh my god, like dang, like I did not see nobody did this on a contract sign segment except for the Undertaker back in 2014 with Brock Lesnar. Like I said, I was like, wow. And this is when they had security, had to break him up. This is where he put it back. I was surprised that Swerve Strickland wasn't bleeding after this, even for being a pin. Like it still was stuck a drill a hole into your hand, like ow. And that's how AEW ended on tonight's Dynamite. Like AEW's Dynamite show ended tonight with the segment being the main event. Like, and I was like, what is up with segments, main event, and shows? Like, well, technically, NXT didn't end it entirely with the contract signing segment, because it also ended with Braun Breaker was in the back brawling with Baron Corbin in the backstage and outside the parking lot. So I would say I'll give NXT a pass. But anyways, that's how AEW ended. I would say I would give tonight's Dynamite a very decent 3.5 star rating out of 5. But because I'll say it still had some good matches, but it was just average, a little too average, if you know what I mean, to describe tonight's AEW Dynamite. Just a little too average, enough to be a perfect show, but still enough. If you want to watch AEW wrestling show, you can on live on TBS on Dynamite, and we also watched Rampage and Collision on Fridays and Saturdays on TBS. Oh, not TBS, TNT. The show that Dynamite's been on. But I guess, yeah, that's the end of my review. And what y'all thought about the review and what you thought about how I rated, y'all let me know down in the comments below. And how would you rate it and how would you recap it? I would love to hear it right down in the comments below. And thank you guys for those who were watching. And hopefully y'all watch tomorrow night's video, which is the SNA podcast episode 50, my bad. The SNA podcast episode 50. 50 of the wrestling news, which will be part 10 of. And we're going to talk about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you need to know while I read them onto the wrestling news articles from Sportskeeda. And make sure y'all check that out. And then please give me a big thumbs up if you like this video. And comment down below and subscribe and click the bell notification if you haven't already so you can be notified when I upload my upcoming video. And also be notified with my other videos too, like from the past month of making this content. And if you want to hear some more journalistic wrestling content of recaps of wrestling shows on TV or wrestling news, you can just check it out on my YouTube channel at Super Ninja Austin 213. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 49th episode of the SNA podcast. This is also the part 7 of the AEW Dynamite review. And I hope y'all have a great night. And I'll see you on tomorrow night's wrestling news video. Super Ninja Austin, the assassin out.